Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's episode number 269 of the Audible Farm Podcast, and this episode is brought to you by the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association. Go to www.fdfineartsassociation.org to find out more about their cause, check out their great community calendar, and be sure to check out their great podcast, FDT. There's links down below to their website. Otherwise, last month's episode was awesome. It had Justin Goodnow on it. It was pretty funny. Went off the rails, pretty fun at the end. Lots of good jokes coming out of that one, but Justin's episode was tons of fun. So be sure to check that out wherever you listen to podcasts, wherever you watch podcasts. Go check out their YouTube channel, all the good stuff. Thank you, Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association. This week, I'm sitting down with Clint Riedel, and we threw the script away. There's no notes, no nothing. We're just sitting down talking, and you can definitely tell about 5 minutes in, it just takes a hard turn, and we just start talking about all sorts of stuff. This is us pontificating life's greatest mysteries and coming up with absolutely zero solutions to those mysteries, as you can probably guess. But this is a fun episode, so I hope you guys enjoy it. This is a man that needs very little, if any, introduction. This is Clint Riedel.
It's the Audible Farm Podcast with your host, Peter Stockdale.
I'm sitting down with Clint Riedel. This is pretty fun because you actually, it feels like you were just on the podcast, but it was actually like months ago. I don't have the exact date, but you were one of the first guests back, basically.
I was talking to Molly about that, and she said, so how long's it been? And I said, I don't know, probably 4 years. But no, not even close.
No, I mean, it was a year ago, just about, because about a year ago, I started the podcast back up. You know, it wasn't exactly a year ago, but I did see recently that like the 7-year anniversary of the start date.
Beautiful.
Was, I don't know, last week sometime, whenever it was. But yeah, that was one that just kind of like passed me by, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to talk about this. This probably, you know, I work in a marketing company, do all this marketing all the time for everyone else. I always forget to do my own marketing, or you're just exhausted and you're like, whatever.
I sell no shirts at all of my shows. I'm
you don't
the worst
talk
at
about
marketing. Yeah.
You don't even say you have them for sale, so people don't know to buy them. But
They're wonderful.
they're amazing shirts. I own them. I have a couple of them. I wear them to shows. This last show I played with Jesse, we were both wearing a Clint Riedel shirt. They were probably just like, who is this guy? You know, like,
Thank you.
Is this guy in the band? What's his deal? Is that Clint over there? Like, no. It's a different guy.
He's the cat sleeping in his van, hence the shirt. Yes.
Yeah. So, other than like, what's been going on recently, I guess, with you? Because it has been about a year. So has anything changed musically for you? Have you done anything different?
I'm going down a weird-ass avenue.
Okay.
I don't even know how to answer my phone properly. Email is just strange. But I got me a computer and an interface. Jesse Wilson, thank you very much. And some studio speakers. Thank you, Brad Hofing. And I'm going to try and record every song that I've ever written. I'm just going to do it all at once. Just one take, Jake, everything.
Oh, wow.
That's my plan.
That'll take a while.
It will, but once I get down the technology part of it, click record, save, boom.
I mean, you and I did that at one point in time. It was something that was like never released.
Oh, you made a couple of videos.
I made some videos, but you and I sat down and I recorded some of your music because we were looking through your music book. A lot of your music is in like one book.
Yeah.
Or pieces of other paper are inserted into this book.
It's a binder. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were looking through it one day and it was like, I don't think I've ever heard this song. And you know, like you and I had played music together for like 4 years nonstop. Yes. So I had heard every song basically you'd ever written, and it's like, I don't think I've ever heard this song. And then the more we looked, it was like, there's about 5 or 6 in here I don't think I've ever heard, you know. And then I was like, well, I'll bring over my laptop and my interface and a couple of simple microphones, and we'll just do like a demo of these songs just to get them recorded somewhere. So on
posterity.
I have it on a hard drive. I still haven't done, and we never did anything with it. We never released it, but
I forgot all about that.
But
we should probably revisit that.
I still have some stuff, but that would be a good deal because I mean, like, anybody that's seen you live, anybody that knows you knows that like you go to a Clint Riedel show, you could probably fill a 3-hour show without playing too many covers.
No, I don't want to.
I know. I mean, like you do play covers. It is what you know. It's something.
I want to make the crowd happy.
Everyone does it, you know. But you do have like a wildly large catalog of songs. You know, you're that storyteller, singer, songwriter. So any story you have just gets mushed into a song. But that again, this is for anybody listening that knows this. Like, not all of these songs are recorded. So like a lot of them, the only way you're going to hear them is go see Clint live somewhere, or maybe hope that somebody somewhere has like a bootleg of this, which, believe it or not, there are bootleggers out
That's
there.
a strange thing. Steve Ross, a shout out to him. Rainy Day Music. He's been at every Byron show in Pomeroy, Iowa, and he just like, hey, is it okay if I record this? And most people graciously say, yeah, I can't believe you want to. And, and those that don't, he respectfully says, all right, I'm not going to put it out.
Yeah.
But go to Rainy Day Music and check out all of the Byron's bootlegs.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
There's a bunch there.
And I
sure.
like how this is one of my favorite things about technology. You can just steal the soul of something that's going on right now. So I'm playing a show with Caleb Ferry. My very first time. We're going by Those Two Wolves, and we're hanging out at a bar that doesn't exist anymore in Fort Dodge, Iowa. And somebody showed me footage of that the other day.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that happened. I can't believe it got caught, but that happened. I remember that moment, and that was wonderful.
What bar?
What was it called? It is now...
Because I feel like there's a video of you two playing at Amigos and the train goes by.
Was it Lefties in Fort Dodge?
Okay, yeah, that's the stadium now.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly the bar.
Or maybe it's Lefties again. I think it's the stadium now.
Everything changes.
It changes. Believe it or not, someone's going to have to look it up. I'm not going to look it up and put it in post, but it's there. You know, it's one of those two. I want to say it flip-flopped back and forth maybe.
But that was wonderful. That was one of our first times together, other than shout out to Gina. Thank you so much for that, because that was life-altering. I realized that it's hard to play music with other people. You've never run into that.
Well, it is difficult, though, because like I don't talk about it much because who's going to celebrate their losses? But like I have absolutely bombed shows with people that I'm not like normally playing shows with. Like, and I mean, it's been horrible. Like it's
when you were a hired gun. And, and you were just like, whoops, there's a B+.
Dude, there's like a C-. Like it's not good. Like, and to do that to somebody else is horrible. But like, sometimes it's just like, here's the list of songs we're playing, and it's like, cool, I don't know 38 of the 46 songs on here. So I have to, now it's, how long's the gig? 4 hours. Where's it at? It's 2 hours away. When is it? It's in 2 days. Do we get to rehearse before? No. And it's like,
I hope that the average listener understands that time and that money, well, even the gas, you know, like, here we are, we're $1,000 invested, and I'm walking away with $14.
Pretty
sometimes,
much. You know,
sometimes.
I mean, it's not exactly like that, but that is a great exaggeration of the actual truth, though, because it's like, you know, you put all the, it's like you didn't see the 6 hours a day I was putting in when I was already working, you know, 9 hours, 10 hours a day.
Yes.
You know, and then like on top of that, I was like deathly ill. I was like so sick. It was, I was
Why
like,
not?
Dude, I was like up on stage at that show playing, and I was just like dumping sweat. Like it was just like falling off my body. And yeah, that was a bad deal. It was
Strange question. Do you want to die on stage? Because
no,
I do.
No way.
I want everyone to see it.
No, I want to live a normal life.
I want everyone to keep playing while I just like, he was supposed to hit this note, but he's laying on his back like Jimi Hendrix.
No, that'd be horrible, man. If that happens, I hope I'm not there to see it. That'd be traumatizing.
Oh, how many of those old blues players, they were just like, you know what? Did it till the end.
I mean, there were some, but like, I don't know. I mean,
I always told Molly I was going to either pass away on the road or pass away on the stage.
On the road is way different than on the stage.
Well, on the road, I'm probably a hindrance. Like, I hope I just hit the ditch on the left.
Or like you could die in your sleep peacefully, but like, dude, on stage it's horrible. So like I think about this, like imagine like pro wrestlers, like
Bret the Hitman Hart.
big pro wrestling fan, whatever, but like
we've gone through this, and anyone that has ever listened to Audible Farm knows that Peter Stockdale is a wrestleophile.
But like Hulk Hogan dying, I mean like yeah, whatever, it's Hulk Hogan, everybody, we get it. All that crap aside, if Hulk Hogan dies in the ring, that's traumatizing. You know, like I don't care, whatever.
I think
John
that's
Cena. Who cares? It
Oh
doesn't
no,
matter who it
yeah.
is.
I hope.
Nobody wants to die in the ring. You know.
No, you're just on top of the world.
You're on stage and dying, basically.
You don't want to traumatize nobody.
That's what you're doing, though.
Oh shit! Well, I personally would like to go out playing music with my friends. Is what I meant by that.
Oh, okay, I thought you were just like, yeah, I want to go to. I'm going to be in Albuquerque and be playing for like 400 people and die on stage.
No,
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 just
no.
traumatize children.
No, can you imagine? I think the best way. It could be at my house. It could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be on stage. But I want to be with my friends when I go.
Yeah. Okay, that's definitely admirable because I was thinking you meant like. Yeah, just like actually dying on.
Oh,
like,
martyrism? Hell no.
Not like that, but like just getting just. Let's say you play till you're 80 and you just die on stage. Like that'd just be so sad.
Keith Richards better.
I don't know. Still don't know about that. Are there any famous musicians that did die on stage? I'm sure there were.
Oh, there's God, I forget his name. This old blues guy, but he honestly he just kind of sat there because he was already on a stool, and I'm starting to play on a stool now. And Jesse Wilson tells me, "Get off that stool," but he was sitting down and everyone kept playing, and then they finally noticed that he wasn't playing anymore, and they looked over and he was gone, but they played on, finished the song the way it was designed, and then everything else was taken care of.
Yeah, I want to say Byron told a story about somebody that died on stage, like just said like sorry and died. Yeah, I don't know, that's sad. That's super sad.
Well, any death is horrible, but I think it's admirable if you get to go the way you want to go.
Yeah, again, I'm saying like if you and I were just in this room with this nice tie-dyed tapestry behind us, for those of you that are just listening.
I made that.
If we were just in here playing music and you died, like if it was like now, I'd be like mortified. It would just traumatize me for life. But
I'd be playing with my friend.
If we were like old and it was like, natural causes, things happen, like I would not be as like weirded out by it as if you were like, again, like on stage, you're playing a show at the Larimar in Fort Dodge and it's packed wall to wall, and all of a sudden you're just like, bah, like,
all right,
that'd be horrible.
I have one more interjection. So I am getting older in age. So what do you think is the good age? Like, oh, he's too young. What year did he go? So I think about 60. 60 is a good time.
No, it's 70s, deep 70s. That's a cool time.
Little do you know, public, we were looking up like the average age of Americans from the 30s up until now and stuff like that. It hasn't grown much.
It has, but like not as much as you'd think.
No, I thought we were going to be 140 years old, and Pete says nope.
No, that's like one of those.
He was right.
It's like one of those old like sci-fi books when you'd like pick it up and you're just like, oh wow, we're all gonna, whatever, and we're gonna be able to teleport or whatever, and we'll shine a beam of light and be able to climb on it, and it's just like, what are you talking about? There's only like a few things that weirdly enough they kind of got right, was like watches that have all the world's information on them. Like that's basically just a cell phone or a smartwatch. So like there are some of those, like this is my telecommunication thing. I can just open it up and talk to anyone anywhere, and it's like, oh yeah, that does exist.
That exists.
So there are a few things they did nail, but yeah, I don't know, like what would be like the good age. Like, let me spin this back on you though, like with a
that's
roundabout
a great question.
So do you want to just be playing music on stage forever? Let me ask you that. Like, is there a point in time where you're just gonna be like, I don't know, because like every musician eventually kind of hangs it up.
Sure.
Because they want to do something, either want to do something else, or they like, just can't physically do the thing that they were doing before or whatever. But like
Today is the day that Robert Redford died.
yeah.
And I was listening to NPR, and they asked him, "What are you going to do?" This is an interview from years ago. And he said, "I'm going to be a creator." And they said, "What are you going to do after that?" You know, actor, director, artist, stuff like that. And he said, "Well, I don't know what else I would do." I have that exact same answer. So I'm going to be a creator, and once that stops happening, I wouldn't know what to do. So there is no retirement. It's just creativity until it's gone.
Okay. And I'm just spitballing here. What happens if you get arthritis in your 60s and you live till you're 80? Like, are you gonna like play something else?
I'll
like,
paint with my armpit.
I guess yeah. I mean, there's something I was thinking. Play music, but like yeah, I guess you could still create by painting and things like that.
Oh, I made that tapestry, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at phones, but if you would just spin around, you would see a bunch of paraphernalia that is kind of self-promoting, but it's all things that I've accumulated over the years. Just it took me a good long while to figure out that you can turn poems into songs, and then you can make those songs into a career. And I haven't stopped playing music for 10 years now, Pete.
Yeah. I mean, there's different things up here you've painted and different like covers of things and like show posters and all sorts of good stuff. I like seeing the Byron's posters because
Sure.
believe it or not, I've got one of those. So
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Well, you were there playing.
I was there. I have played at both old and new legendary Byron's, which is pretty freaking sweet. But yeah, so you think you're just gonna like just keep going forever, Just
Sure.
Okay, all right. I don't know. Like if I like playing music and stuff, but I feel like there's going to come a day where like I decide to just kind of step out of the public light doing it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think then we become like recording artists, and you're talented enough. You can honestly you can be a background. Like Owen, how are you doing? He's gonna make a career out of making everyone else's music sound really good because he's a studio bassist.
Yeah,
just nailing it.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be like just, I'm humble or what. I'm not on the same level as him, but
but you could make a fucking killing, man.
I don't think that, I don't know. Around here, yeah, like maybe I'm a larger fish in this medium pond, but like if you go to the big pond, I'm not anything, it's
depends on the water.
It definitely does. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to like. I think there's something romantic about the idea of like you and I just sitting here playing music and not necessarily because we need to.
This is what we used to do the entire time before Pete ever got into. Well, I don't know for sure. Before you ever got into audio broadcasting, him and I would kill a lot of time on a frisbee golf course, and then we'd go back to Barnum at the Scale House, and then we'd just sit there and play music for hours. And that's what you're supposed to do as a musician, is enjoy those hours. And now he's brought it even this much further. Thank you for it.
Yeah. I just think about like
that was me stroking you.
Yeah, appreciate it. I really don't need it, but thank you.
You're welcome.
I think about things like that though. Like that was out of like basic necessity though too. Like, and I'm not trying to like pigeonhole you as a person or like call you out, but like you didn't have internet. You barely had TV.
Checks out.
You had a flip phone.
You gave me a TV.
I did give you a TV, and it crapped out pretty quick.
Yeah, dang.
But it's one of those things like you barely had anything that was like what I would call like a luxury. So like the only thing to do there was to sit and play music, which was like okay with me, because it was usually like you and me, or like Jesse would stop by, or Ober would come by, or Brad would come by, because Brad Hofing exists. He's a real person, even though he's never been on a podcast.
You'll never see his face.
Never. It's not going to happen. But you got to go to a show, watch him.
He wears a blue flannel shirt. Look out for him, ladies.
Yes, got a Titleist hat on.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, that was, there was something enjoyable about that. There was no pressure to play a certain way. We could kind of goof off. Nobody was watching. Like there weren't any peers around even to like judge or be like, why are you doing that? Or like, I could just be like as oddly experimental as I wanted to, or we could just like.
I used a wah pedal once.
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of stuff over there. Like that guitar I fixed, like we plugged that into an electric amp for a while, and we're kind of tinkering with that. I mean, that exists somewhere. It's still over
It's
there.
hanging under that Indian blanket right there.
Nice.
I had to cover it because I was trying to record some tracks, and it was just like...
Oh, gosh, yeah. That thing was wild. There is a video of that guitar online if anyone wants to see me.
Please check that out. It's
Fixing
one of
it.
my favorite guitars.
Yeah, it's really, honestly, pretty wild that it's there and it works. But that's, dude, it's weird to think about that because it's like 7 years ago or whatever when this podcast started. I was just like farting around. It's like, yeah, give me a guitar. I'll take it all the way apart and put it all the way back together. I don't care. And now it's just like, I don't know if I just don't have the energy for it or what, but I'm just like, I'm not doing that. I'm not dinking around with that crap. Like somebody else can do it. And I don't know what it is.
That's body mileage. You've gotten to the point where you're like, I could do that easily 5 years ago, or I could do that with a little struggle now. Well, I'm just gonna sit down.
Yeah, I don't know. And some of it's like, I don't know, like somebody was just like, hey, I got this guitar. Can you fix it? It doesn't work. And it's like, sure. And I just bring it to my house. I plug it in. It works. I don't know what the problem is. But then I like open it up and I see that it needs to be like basically completely rewired. So then when you like start to look at it, it's like, well, somebody's already been in here tinkering with this. And so it's just like, let's just take all the guts out and start over from scratch, and you do that. And it took me a while to finally like, when I realized I was going to have to just redo the whole thing, I was like, I'll just,
Never again.
I'll come back to this later. And then I just let it sit there for like a month and then finally fixed it and was like, okay, it's done.
I never go back to a project. If I don't finish it on the first go, like Jeremy Ober and I were talking, and he's of the same mindset. If we don't get it done, like if we start writing a song and it's not finished, why would I go back? I mean, granted, there's a lot of papers with, 2 lyrics and a chorus, but if I didn't finish it, why am I going back?
Because you could finish it.
It wasn't good enough to go back to.
Well, how do you know that if you never go back to anything?
Ah.
So, like, every project I have that I start that sits there half finished eats me alive a little bit every single day, which is like, that's the reason I'm bald, and that's the reason I'm probably going to die younger than everybody else, is because it just destroys me. Like, so much so where it's like, if there's something on my desk at work that it's just like, if I stayed 15 more minutes, I could have finished this. Yeah, I stayed 10 minutes longer than I should have, but if I stayed 15 more minutes, I could have finished this. It'll drive me nuts the whole night until I get there the next day.
So I've got this friend, Connie, and she says, why would you let 4 dishes sit in your sink when you could get up and put those 4 dishes away and save 7 hours of like, I should have washed those 4 dishes. I should have washed those 4 dishes.
Yes.
Yep.
The agony of, like, there's a saying for this. Somebody find it, quote it, tag me in it, whatever. But it's like, the agony you experience while, like, dreading something is worse than the agony you'll experience of actually doing something.
Word.
So, like, and I don't know if it's, Eastern religion or what it is, but it's something over that direction where
it's humanity. It's where people think like, if I could just get this off my chest, I'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have you had things where you're just like, should have done that? And then you're like, when you actually do it, you're like, this took 8 seconds. I should have done it the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that with like coming back to a song. What if you come back to a song and you're like, all I needed was a fresh perspective. All I needed was one day.
How dare you, Peter Stockdale?
All I needed was one day of worrying about this to come back to it with a fresh perspective, and now, boom, it's done.
I've never revisited a song, so I don't have a...
I'm not gonna start now. There's no reason to change.
No, I will. I'll go grab that songbook, and me and Peter Stockdale are going to release a song tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be trash because I'm in on it. No, believe it or not, I'm not much of a songwriter. Those are like the only things I have. I have a lot of started ideas, but nothing's ever been fledged into what I would call a song, where it's like I have a very simple chord progression with this very simple melody over it that sounds very, very neat, but I don't know.
All you need is a story.
I don't know where to extrapolate from here. I just like have a few of those hanging out. That's like the closest I get. Otherwise, it's just like, this is just a basic open chords with words to it, and it doesn't mean anything to me until there's like a melody behind it, and I can't sing well enough to make melodies, so it just everything just falls into basically that just sounds like chords. So I don't know what.
I will say this: I enjoy that you are singing more with Jesse Wilson. For a long time, there was never, more than one mic stand. When I played with you, when Jesse played with you, there was always just one mic stand. And now it's Pete's got a mic.
It was like out of necessity. I think Jesse was sick for a while and just like, you want to back me up on a bunch of this? It's like, yeah, sure, why not? I can sing well enough that it's like, if it's the part that everyone in the crowd's going to yell anyways, then I can do that, like, because they're going to yell worse than I can sing, and I'll sound good by comparison. And then eventually it just stuck. I just started picking the spots to do backup vocals for Jesse. A lot of times what I'm doing is doubling. I'm not hitting a whole lot of harmonies. Sometimes I do because it's easy. Sometimes I don't because it's more difficult for me.
Fuck that drop D. I'll say it out loud. Or no, half step. My bad.
No, it's just singing harmonies is not an easy thing unless you like practice it, and I just don't practice it, so it's not something I'm good at. It's kind of like playing harmonies. Like you kind of have to measure things out a little bit in order to hit them, especially in sequence with somebody else. But
so, do you think it's harder to sing harmonies or play harmonies? Because
I can't sing well. I can play better than I can sing by a mile.
So Ramblin' Man, when guitar harmonies are easier than just like lining up with me or Jesse or Brad or Tank or anyone.
Yeah, 100%. For me, yeah, it would be, because a lot of that stuff is you're thinking like how far. I don't know what the separation is. Like with metal, it's a lot of times it's minor thirds. That might be octave. That might be octave plus something that I don't know. Could be. It's not sixths, I don't think, because that would be like country sounding. So I don't know. Whatever the separation is, a lot of times the harmony part is just like a fifth away, or a fourth, or a third, or whatever. And like with metal, a lot of times it's just a minor third away. So like that kind of stuff just makes sense. It's like these are the basic formulas for this stuff.
What's your favorite? If they gave you a guitar and said go, and you've got a 30-minute set, just the best of everything you got, what genre of music are you playing?
I got nothing, man.
I would punk.
I've oftentimes said this. Like, I've played in punk bands. It's probably some of my favorite music. I play a lot of metal music on the side. I played in like one metal band. I was very like deeply involved. I loved playing metal music. It does not always translate to an acoustic very well, but there are some like hair metal songs that can very easily be just like reverted back to the acoustic. So there's some of those would be what I would choose. But, and this is going to sound really, really dumb, I would pick like 70s love songs or like 2000s, like the pop bands.
Do you
that
remember
existed.
when you sat with me and you were like, "You've got an ELO album?" And I was like, "Well, I know, I got a bunch." Awesome. And you were like, "You got to check this out." And you played all the songs and pointed it out. I was like, "Dude, ELO, you're so effing good. Right."
Dude, ELO is so good. Yes. It's so good.
I agree.
But there's like a lot of like modern. I don't say. Well, I'm old now, but like 20 years ago, there were a lot of bands like Vertical Horizon, and yes. Whatever, Third Eye Blind maybe was like
possibly
maybe in that area. 9 Days, which was like my favorite of all of those types of bands, but like those were the bands that were like sing like the montage songs you'd hear on like a promo for Friends or something like that. Like, are Rachel and Chandler gonna get together?
Not this week. Or, stay tuned.
Everyone's like, "You idiot! It was Rachel and Ross." It's like, okay, fine, I messed that one up, but still, like that was the gist. But like, I would play a lot of those songs, believe it or not. Like those were a lot of like my favorites growing up. It was just like, this is just the sad guy with an acoustic guitar at a party, but he's got a whole band with him.
Sounds like Brad Hofing.
Dude, I love that kind of music. So like that would probably be, if I had somebody who's like, here's what you got to do. I do have like probably like 5 or 6 songs I could rip off if I had to, but like I'm not a lyric guy either. Like someone's just like, here, sing this part, and it's like, how does it start? And they're like this, and you're like, you sing it, and then you're like, And what's the next part? And it's like, I don't know how any of this goes. I cannot tell you how many times I've played LaGrange by ZZ Top and sang the first verse like 4 times because I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, they don't. Neither do they.
But, there's been so many of those that have happened where it's like, all right, Can't You See is another one that's just like, man, I could bust this song out. But then I always get lost. It's like, wait, where did I stop singing and where's the next verse? Because a lot of what I do is I just like slam too many solos into things and just like to meander with when I'm playing because...
that was one of my favorite parts about playing with you, Peter Stockdale. I was like, I would just give you the nod. And I was like, I don't remember this lyric at all. Yeah. And he would just tear it up. And I was like, okay, it'll come to me. Give me time.
Dude, I loved that. That's my favorite thing at a show when you're like playing and it's like... depending on who the musician is, sometimes it's like, let's just hold this chord for a second and see if, maybe a couple measures and see if I can figure out what
he might do later.
And sometimes it's just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm so far away from whatever this lyric is. Let's just play whatever this progression is one more time through and see what happens. Like, so usually everything's blocked up in sections of 4, and this is like 4, 4, 4, 4, and then like a sliver of 1 in there for some reason. Like, here's one measure of something that doesn't belong for no reason.
And then I start clapping.
And then there's the lyrics. Yep. But knowing those spots and knowing when to jump in, that's
entirely mental. It's just between each other.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not trying to say like I'm bailing you out or whatever, but
no,
it's like,
fuck no. Heck no. That's exactly why we just like. That's the look. Like, hey man, I'm not here yet, but we will be. Yeah,
that's just what you got. I don't know. I look at like when I play music with people, like I have a job, and my job is when they're not filling the space where everyone's listening to, I have to fill the space that everyone's listening to, or somebody else does. That's the benefit of being in Jesse's band now, where it's like I'm not the only person to do that. There's 2 other people in the band that can do that, and they are very capable of doing that. So it's like
Dave Schmieder.
Yes.
You Brad son of a gun.
Dave Schmieder's got a great way of like tagging the end of like bar 4 that will be like the fade out into the first part of like the next verse. But if somebody messes up, he's right there to keep playing. And
I've got a Dave Schmieder story.
Okay.
So I was playing at Rails Bar and Grill. Ed and Kelly, thank you very much. And I look over because there was a request, and they said, give me some of that like gangster rap. And I was like, okay, I got this. And I started playing, and Dave looks at me right in the eye, crosses his arms, and keeps a towel around him apparently, and covers the entire steel. He's like, nope.
Yeah,
and I was
course.
like, I'm ashamed too, man. That's what the crowd wanted.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But he's a righteous man and he's a good guy. Hell of a steel player,
dude. Dave Schmieder's got the best energy of anyone I've ever been in a band with, like 100%. And
the heaviest instrument known to Christ.
Oh, for sure. This is. I always said this, and this is the most loving thing I can say ever about somebody. I would say, like, Dave Schmieder's got the energy of like a 5-year-old boy with a cookie in each hand.
Agreed.
It's just all smiles. Yeah. Everything's just handshakes and how have you been today? And even when he's having a bad day, he's always up and up. And so it's always great to see him. But yeah, it does not shock me that Dave would just, put down the bar and just like cover up his pedal steel and just be like, well, I'm gonna sit this one out.
Nope, not mine.
This might not be my song. But like I've also like with Jesse seen where like we're playing songs where it's just like he's just like, what are we playing? Like sometimes it's something that we've never played before. Jesse and I might have played it like a million times, or whatever.
And a smart man closes their mouth when they don't know what to say. So a smart musician stops playing when they don't know what the is going on,
Or it's just like, what am I going to add to this? He's playing pedal steel and now we're doing a cover of Ice Ice Baby.
Checks out.
And he'll just sit there and just like cross his arms and look at us and be like, what are you kids doing? It's so fun. Absolutely.
It's not lack of talent. It's a choice, brand of choice.
100%. It's so fun because I don't know. He's the man. But yeah, I don't know. I don't remember how we got on. Playing songs. So like if I had to play songs, what would I play? Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're going back to like 80s hair ballads, hair metal ballads, and like modern, what I would call modern, like early 2000s, like pop bands.
What if you had the most amazing, say, Lone Tree was behind you? What would you sing?
I'd make them do all the singing.
Well, no. But
every one of those people can sing better than I
God,
can.
yes. But what would you sing if
Nothing.
you had a backup band similar to Lone Tree?
I don't know. If I had a band,
I would sing Signs.
Oh my God.
It's not Tesla.
I
would go way back.
I'd be so lazy if I had a band, dude.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
what I do.
if I had like a pile of people that like near me, that's just like it would just literally take all the stress away, and I would just be like, well, damn, I just have to show up, and these guys are gonna do all the playing. I just have to play open chords and sit here. Like,
You've been playing in these bands. You've understood this.
I will be the guy in the back, but I don't have the right headspace that a lot of you guys do to be the guy in the front. Like I would just be like, I'm the man. I don't got to do anything. Like it's like, hey, Peter, when's the last time you did vocal warm-ups? Never. It's like, have you ever done any lessons? No. It's like, when was the last time you actually like practiced something? Not 40 years. Like it would be horrible. It would be horrible. I would just be like, I got a band of killers. They're all amazing. Look at them. Like all day long.
And I'm curious for that album because that's what I'm banking on. I need a bunch of killers.
I'm not gonna be the guy singing. You could. I mean,
We'll see.
I'll be one of the people sitting there next to you while you play music if you need to. But I'm not gonna be the guy singing. I'm not gonna put together a band anytime soon.
Hey, friends and family. Did you know every now and then when I used to run a jam down in Barnum, Iowa, Peter Stockdale would get on the mic?
I mean, yeah, I have sang. It's not my favorite thing to do. I don't know.
It's not his worst thing he's ever done.
I did have, believe it or not, I did start a band, and I did do one show with it, and the whole thing was just based on the fact where it's like whoever wants to be in the band can be in the band kind of deal, where it's like, I have a show here, so if somebody wants to or can, it's just like, yeah, hop in. I don't care what's going on. And it was just called the Stockyard.
I've seen that.
So like the first time, only time we ever played, it was me, Jeff Blummel, Nick Earhart, and Dan Blair. So we played at the Rockin' Picnic, and this is probably like 4 or 5 years ago already. But yeah, that was awesome. I had a blast. Dan and I took turns singing songs and stuff, and took turns doing like the main lead parts on a lot of songs, and it was a lot of fun. But
I didn't know the combination.
I don't.
This Rockin' Picnic, I had Jeff Blemmel with me.
Oh, cool.
Yes, I did.
That's fun.
He just out of nowhere. I saw him on Friday. I had to play on a Saturday. He showed up. Brad apparently played with Mason something.
Oh yeah.
Played with a larger name, but he came back into town and told Scott Dahl about this. And this sounds like a lot of name dropping, but it's only, because this is all the people we talk to.
And then Bobby was there, and then Stevie said this.
Next thing you know.
And then Jimmy comes over.
But anyway, I had a bongo drum player.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's fun. Like, and that comes back to what you said earlier. Like, it's got to be weird playing music with new people. But, like, you've done enough jams where you know that, like, I don't know, there's like, okay, we're throwing the parachute and we're bailing out of this one quick. There's a lot of different avenues you can take, and not every song is always a winner with every person, because sometimes you can play like one song with somebody and you're like, what the crap is this person doing? Yeah. Do not play another song. But at the same time, you're just like, yeah, play another song. I don't care, Yeah. And then you play another song, it's just like, oh hell, where were you 5 minutes ago? But not every song is made for every person, and that especially is true on like, drums, or like when you're like, I wrote a song in 6/8, and it's like, what? Like what? I don't.
For all of you musicians out there, oh my goodness! So when I want a 1 2 1 2, and you're out there, just exploring with sounds, just know that everyone needs a drummer. That's why I started drumming myself on a suitcase kick drum.
Yes.
Oh, we didn't move the phone.
We do. Yeah, we did not. We're not going to.
No.
But I will explain this for everyone and this is like the Dr. rhythm for Clint Riedel session 101. You kick your kick drum on 1 and 3.
I do.
Which is normal because most people kick their kick drums on 1 and 3.
Checks out.
Because you're going to clap on 2 and 4.
Yeah.
That's your snare drum.
But my hands are busy.
Yes. So if you were sitting, your left foot would have a jingly thing. Mm-hmm. In theory, and that would be your snare sound.
That's the egg shaker?
Yeah. So you'd have something on the opposite. Now, here's the problem everyone gets is like your songs are geared for the 1 and 3. Mm-hmm. When you write songs, it's just like, oh, you sound like a sack of nickels. And so you're doing the 1 and 3. Mm-hmm. But everyone that drums wants to flip everything, and they want to hit the snare on 1 and 3.
As they shouldn't.
Because they feel like that's the punctuative part of the song, but it's so this is the thing I will always say is like there's a lot of times I've been to jam nights where people have flipped everything on you. They're like an eighth of a beat off, or like a quarter note off. They're just
and I'm still forced to just play along.
You just have to keep doing it. Which, like, believe it or not, there have been a few times where it's like,
well, it sounds all right.
This sounds pretty good, actually, like this.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like, well, if the drums sound like that, then we can make this a little rockier than it would be, So it's kind of fun to sit and like hear those things and kind of know what's going on and kind of like measure it all out. And it's frustrating to be part of something that's like not exactly going right. But at the same time, it's a fun learning experience. I would liken it to like going to a job where you're basically just like, you put this up and you put this up and I'll put this up and then when we're done, everything should be put together.
But what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. Like this is one of those things though, like after I say this, it's like C, F, and G, everybody. Those are the chords. And like after that, like I'm singing. I can't be like, no, play it this way. You play it on the 1 and 4. No, hit the snare on the other beat. You can't like do that while you're singing and playing at the same time.
And you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. So,
I'm not.
So you just have to ride it out, And then the best part is like, I love it when those things happen, like I said, and it's like a hiccup. It's like you all can look at each other and be like, that was a stinker, and then the next one everybody crushes, So like that happens sometimes, especially at jam nights, especially when you're playing with new people. But kudos to like, believe it or not, like I would say that like of all the music that's just quote unquote like a simple beat, yours is difficult because I feel like it flips. A lot of people flip the 1 and 3.
Jeremy Ober says, I know where that 1-2 is and nobody else does. He's like, I want to play drums. And I was like, Scott Kirkhart can play drums for me any day he wants. And he goes, I got that motherfucker beat. And I was like, are you shitting me? He goes, I know where your 1-2s are. And I didn't even know what my 1-2s were. But it's, let's see. No, we're not playing music tonight. But yes, there's many examples of where Jeremy's just like, bam, bam, ba-dum, bam, bam.
Yep. Yeah, you know where the shuffly.
Yep.
Yes.
So I've got a piano in my house.
Yeah. Do you play piano?
Not very well, but I'm trying.
I've seen you can play better than I can.
No, that's not a fact.
That's true. But I'm also not good. So.
Hey, here we are.
Yeah, I learned music theory with a piano, but I can't really play it very well.
Oh man, that middle C, that's where everything lives.
Yeah. I guess if you're playing in that key, there's like a couple keys you can pick and it's like, well, everything's easy on this now, But
I'm going to sound like Jeremy Ober with my left hand.
Okay, yep.
When it comes to piano.
I want to say there's a Joe Walsh video where he's like getting interviewed and he's talking about how like the right hand is more important and he's just just like totally going, he's like, everybody's looking over here at the left hand, man, you gotta look at the right hand. It's the right hand. He's like just freaking out about it. It's like, okay. Yeah,
that
hilarious.
reminds me of Brad Hofing. He goes, the first time I was starting to play music and Brad Hofing says, can I play bass? And I said, sure you can. He said, can I play bass for you? And I said, probably. And he was like, I really like your right hand. And I didn't know what that meant. But fuck, man. Everybody knows what your left hand is doing. But when it comes to your right hand, that's where your personality lies. Mm-hmm. And I thought, Brad, you're a smart man. Yeah, let's start a band. So we became the Blue Ribbon Ramblers.
Yeah, I can't remember what the saying is. Like the left hand is what you know, and the right hand is how you feel, or something like that.
Right hand is
Something
who
like that.
you are.
There you
Yep.
go. It's
Yep.
okay. So, yeah, there's a fun saying for that, and that I do believe in that too, though, because like there's so many people that are like, it's weird to say this, like this is how you're supposed to play guitar, even though there's no real rules for the thing.
Imagine if you could just left hand it like Clapton. Just.
I don't know. As dumb as it sounds, I've been trying to push my algorithm into weird places lately, and I've been seeing a lot of jazz guitarists, and they're giving like jazz lessons and talking about things, and they're like, I can make chord structures like by doing this or by doing that, and like
Chet Atkins stuff, like the double click.
we're talking weird stuff where it's like all 5 fingers are in front of the fretboard, where it's like using their thumb to bass certain notes and then building, or like doing it over the top so their pinky does it and their thumb and other fingers are out here, and they're making like
Not today,
chords.
Satan.
They're making chords like up here where it's just like, this is like 9 frets of space. What are we doing with this? You know, like, but yeah, just weird stuff like that has been like really intriguing to me. I think like the basics of the guitar I've got down, but like anything beyond that where it's like, this is the way I see it, and it's like, I don't need this thing. But
Hey everybody, I'm handing Peter Stockdale a guitar, and then I'm gonna stand in front while he plays it.
no, what? No, because now you're in front of the camera.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not gonna play it. You can.
I would like to hear a little finger picking.
No, I got nothing.
So this is a guitar
gotta
that this is the first guitar I ever bought that I thought, this is my voice, this is my name. I bought it from Eighth Note Studios from Chris Carr, and it's been on 3 or 4 different recordings, and it's been my workhorse. I wonder what it sounds like over here in Pete's hands.
We're not gonna hear it in my hands because I have to hold a microphone. Yeah, but here you go. You can have this back, and then.
Son of a gun.
But we were talking jam nights though. So one thing that is pretty cool is the jams in Barnum have started back up.
Oh yes.
It's got to be.
Yes.
I mean, we talked about it when the jam there ended. It's like, oh, it's bittersweet. You know, it's like, and one, you know, you're not gonna have the jams and all your friends and your built-in community every single Tuesday, yada yada yada, and. You know, for you, it was just kind of like, what's your purpose on Tuesdays? And well, now I got to find something to do. But you have free time.
Are we going to grow
so you're gonna,
apart?
You're going to enjoy it and stuff. But like, jams are happening. They're the first Tuesday of every month now in Barnum. And there are different host musicians depending on the week. And that's going to kind of sort of dictate how the jam goes, I'm assuming, is whoever's deciding to host it for the week. But for the most part, it's, you know, Jesse hosted the first one. It's just kind of like a free-for-all out there, just like it always has been.
It went well.
It's one of my favorite things ever. It's like, yeah, get up there and play halfway through a song with somebody, or just, you know, whatever you feel like. So it's been really fun to have those back. What's your thoughts on that? Because you were there.
I think the next jam is that it's not Scott.
I think it's Scott.
Is it?
I believe so.
Well, Scott honestly brings a good crowd.
Always.
He's
got a built-in crowd with him basically everywhere he goes. It's not like an entourage, but people will show up
it's
to see
not
Scott
an
play.
entourage per se, but
Yeah.
it's
kinda-
an entourage.
He'll drop a couple of phone calls and people will show up.
Yep. Well, he puts on a good show, and he's going to be in charge of it on Tuesday. But on my birthday, December 2nd,
Okay.
I am the 4th host, and I will be there on December 2nd, Tuesday.
First Tuesday of the month. Every
Yes.
first Tuesday. So that one is going to be fun because that'll be like the homecoming, you know. You're back, whatever, you know. Even though like ever since the jams ended, you did get married.
Yes.
You know, and have
Life
a
slowed
reception
down.
there and things like that. So things have happened. You have been there before, other than December coming back. But that'll be the first time you're hosting the jam there.
I'm looking
will be
forward
pretty
to
neat.
it.
I do remember like Ober did that once with the jams here in Fort Dodge, where he like recreated like the house band was the old Barnum quote unquote house band or whatever. He did that once too. That was pretty fun. So I don't
The
know.
first time I met you, we were standing at Patty's Pub, and you were like, I'm going to play music. And I said, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even talk before you started playing music with me. That was the first time we met.
Yeah, that was literally what happened. Because it was like, I played music with you, and then we recorded a podcast like a week later, and I basically didn't know you were the same person up until like, that point. It was like, oh shit, that was kind of cool though, because like going to those jams, I don't. It's hard to describe because like, when you're on this side of the fence, it's so hard to be like, when I was on that side of the fence, this is how it felt. And it's like, well, how long have you been on this side of the fence? Are you desensitized from it? Because I'll tell you what, I was so freaking nervous to go out there and play with other people.
Insanity, because he's a wonderful guitar player. He's a skilled musician.
Well, at that point in time, I basically just figured out, like, I can figure out what key songs are in, and I can solo to them and improvise over top of them, even if I don't know what the chords are, and I'll at least fill in some space somewhere.
Did wonderful.
So like I could do that stuff, and I had played a show before, and it just came down to like, you have to learn songs and you have to learn lyrics and you have to do this, and it's like I can't, and that was literally the time when I was referencing singing LaGrange, like the first lyric over and over and over again. I like did a solo section after the first lyric, nodded one over to Ober, and then he just like looked back at me, and I was just like, I don't remember the lyrics, and he just goes, basically like, figure it out, kid, and I did by singing the first lyric over again, because it's like, whatever, I don't, which is like so dumb, because it's like, it's so dumb when you're in the moment. You're so removed from everything. You can't.
Yes.
You can't in your head while you're playing the song run through the song fast and be like, "Well, here it's fine." Okay, so that's what the second lyric starts. Okay, I forgot about that, or whatever. But
imagine if you wrote it and just can't figure it out.
I mean, that's happened to you because you've written 80 billion songs, and sometimes you're just like, "Oh, here's a song I wrote when I was having a popsicle on January 30th. And it's just like, what? And it's just like, it was very cold, and my hot tub had just broke down. Or it's just like always some weird story, and it's like, what are you talking about? And then you just bust out a song I've never heard before.
Well, gosh darn it.
So yeah, that you do have a lot of songs. It's
that's my goal. I want to be prolific. Like actually, Molly and I were sitting around last night, and I was trying to convince her, but I was wrong, that Kurt Vonnegut was the dude who wrote this book of poetry that I had read earlier in my years. And she said, "No, you're wrong." And I was like, "Well, it's definitely Kerouac then. It's definitely Kerouac." And she's like, "No, but I like that." And I was like, "It's Richard Brautigan."
Okay.
So
is that who it was?
Yeah, it was. It took me three different poets.
I wouldn't have been able to pull that one out.
It took me 3 different poets to figure it out. But there I sat, and there I came, and there I was, and one of my favorite poems. I can't recite it precisely, but it's 2 a.m. And
oh, I know. It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. That's
close.
No, it's close.
Close. Yes.
That's my Rob Thomas impression.
Nope.
That's how I can sing good. That's the only way I can sing good is making fun of something.
Do it again.
No, that's it. You have to listen back to the recording. We're about 50 minutes in, so we'll make a note of it.
All right. Well, what do you want to talk about then?
No, it's cool.
Because I would hear 14 minutes of Pete.
Oh my gosh, doing Rob Thomas impressions.
It doesn't have to be all Rob Thomas.
Can you help me on bent? No. That we did talk a little bit about the jams, so that's pretty much what we got going on. What was one of your biggest shows that you? I mean, summer's kind of coming to an end. It's not like it's the end, but it's basically the end of the summer shows.
Once we get down to it, like it sucks. All my friends are in really great bands, but they're not. Like nobody's going to give you $3,000 to come hang out on a February Wednesday.
That's true. That is kind of tough. So it is a little bit slower.
We start splintering out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You and I did a bunch of together shows, like duos, and then there was Brad Hofing, just duos, and Jesse Wilson, just duos. And
yep.
That's how we all keep each other alive.
Yeah. What was one of your biggest shows this year so far? Like, have you played any like bigger festivals?
Oh.
I believe you were up in Minnesota playing.
Yeah, one of my favorite. It wasn't a big old stage, but it was definitely life changing. I went up to Yankton, South Dakota, and I played amongst, I think, about 73, 78 songwriters, and we all got together at the end of the night, and we'd be sitting around just exchanging noises, and I can't believe you. So I met a friend in Texas, I met a friend in Florida, I met a friend in all these places I want to be once it starts getting cold up here in Iowa.
Clint Riedel World Tour.
Yeah, here we are.
Do it. Line it up.
Yeah.
Get Molly to line it up for you.
It's really just me packing enough groceries and fruit snacks and going down there.
Yeah, either enough clean underwear or enough quarters to clean the underwear.
Who wears underwear? Peter Stockdale.
My bad. My bad. X-rated. No, yeah, I was trying to think recently, like, what was the biggest show I played this summer? I did play a show up with Jesse up in Blue Earth. That was pretty big. That was a pretty fun show. The crowd, that's weird because the crowd is always like at some of those like street dances. It's like the crowd's huge, but everyone's like half a block away, you know? So there's like a decent amount of that, but we have played a couple shows, and it would be tough for me to think about exactly where, but I did play a couple shows with them where it's like, well, there's only like 100 people here, but they are going freaking nuts right now.
What was that show? I showed up and I was like, man, I feel so bad. It's raining like cats and dogs on all of my friends.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
Joliet? Nope.
No, I don't remember what town it was in. My brain wants to say Fonda, but I don't think that was right.
Either way, you guys were getting rained on, and it wasn't fair. All I felt bad for was the sound guy, Mark Gales.
Yeah, we had shown up, and he was running Jesse's gear, so it was all Jesse's gear.
Shit.
And we were playing, and it's like we've got tents over us, we've got bags over everything, we've got towels and bags covering cables and connectors. Like everything is as covered as it can get.
Musicians have been there.
We're trying so hard, and then when we're playing, and then just the power goes out. And I just like looked over at Jesse, and I was just like, I'm going to go unplug everything. And I went to the back of the stage, and like nothing had power. So I just unplugged the main power. I was just like, well, there we go. We're done, guys. Sorry. And like, I mean, Jesse was obviously the one that made the final call, but like, I don't blame him one single bit. Cause it's like,
I walked up to the stage 2 or 3 times, and I was like, are you guys still playing?
Yeah, there's puddles up here. There's literal puddles on stage.
You gonna do that?
Like Taylor's stuff quit working because it was getting rained on, and he went back to his car to go get like a backup amp or something. And like, that's how bad it was. So like, it was not good. And yeah, I mean, do you want to get thousands of dollars worth of stuff ruined? I mean, like, I get it. You could make it all back. You can insure it, whatever. But like the pain in the butt to go through and get all that crap again and program it all. No, thank you, please. So we didn't finish that show, and I can't for the life of me. It was Gala Days. What town is Gala Days? Gala Days?
Nope.
That's what it was, though.
Was it?
Yeah, I believe it was Gala Days.
I'll believe you.
But yeah, that was a rough one. Just got absolutely rained on. Just absolutely destroyed. Yeah,
keep on keeping on there.
That was rough. And that's the thing is like, you just have to do your best. And even though like I'm sitting there like, I don't want my stuff to get ruined, but you also don't want to be the first one to be like, I'm done. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. But at the same time, like when everybody's kind of looking at each other, like, I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. Like, you eventually.
Do you remember that time that Brad Hofing, you and I were playing in some small town, Alden, and ended up, it was like, we were trying to wait out of the storm, and we were watching the lightning, and then you were like, I don't think so, man. And then we set up because I assumed we could. We played our jerks off for at least 3 songs, and then it just downpoured. And they were like, hey, you're not leaving, right? So I convinced myself to go inside and set up an entirely different set of speakers.
Oh, yeah.
And played for like 3 hours in there.
We were...
I was right in front of the girls' restroom.
It was like, it was like whatever, sauerkraut days.
Yeah, that's exactly what...
Yeah.
Ackley,
yep.
Yeah.
That was rough, too, because it was like, we were all outside, Brad's stuff's all set up, and it's like, we waited, and then it was finally like, all right, let's haul everything onto the stage. No, we hauled everything onto the stage to like the last second. We kept bags over Brad's stuff, and it's just like, fine, let's set it all up. And literally, like you said, 3 songs in, it just starts dumping rain. And I mean, like, everybody just kind of looks at each other, and you had your gear in your car.
I was like, my stuff's dry. I can bring it in.
And we just packed all Brad's stuff away and put it away, and we ended up, working everything out in the end. But then you went inside and played. But you and I,
Working musicians, man.
you and I had played a show inside there before.
Oh, yes.
It's not big enough for 2 people to play a show.
No, and they gave us space for 2 people before.
Yeah.
They didn't give me space for 1 person this time.
Well, you'd be lucky to fit anybody, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, the bar's so full, it's so cool, but like the bar was usually pretty full regardless, and for a town festival,
God bless
it's definitely,
Iowa.
definitely going to be full. So, yeah, playing live music, you never know what you're going to get. Especially like playing private shows. Like I ran into that this summer at a show where like basically as musicians, like 3 or 4 of us sat down and we were like, we all kind of know what we need to play a show.
What's your most awkward show?
I'll have to think about that. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, like this show, it was like a private show, and it was like we were basically like, we just need power in a flat space. Well, we had like a flat space, but it was like uncrushed rock and not like gravel. Like we're talking like
You need
2-3 inch hunks of rock, And it's like on a slight decline, and it just wasn't flat enough. And the power, it was like, well, there's one outlet in that shed over there, and it was like, this isn't quite what we were looking for, but we ended up making something work. So there's like, we ran into the situation where we realized like we just expected them to know what we needed, when in all actuality they don't actually know. So like when you feel like you're being pushy, where it's like I need like a flat space, like a cement or very flat grass, where like you could put like picnic tables on it and it wouldn't be weird, because things need to be flat, so it you can't be on like a little decline or a lean. It's just not going to work. So, but yeah, that was like a weird show. As for the most awkward show, like the one I was talking about earlier when I bombed, that was like, dude, I was just sitting up there just eating it, and it was just like, this is horrible. But like when you're doing that and somebody
While you're doing it or after?
Oh, the whole time I was just like, this sucks.
Because there's a difference while you're doing it or after, because I've felt a whole lot of, geez, I'm messing up while I'm playing. But then I've also felt a lot of like, why am I still here after I was done?
I mean, like on a scale of 1 to 10, it's still like a 5, and it's like, that's still only a 5 when you're supposed to like be a hired gun playing somewhere. I feel like you should be like 7, 8, 9 at least, like crushing songs, at least know their structures and things like that.
I get it.
But it's rough when somebody like curveballs in music are weird. If somebody just started adding measures to songs that didn't need them in there, you'd be like, what the hell's going on? Unless you're used to it. So like when somebody's like, here's the songs you need to know, this is the set list, and you prepare mentally for like every song being in this order.
And then they're a giant jerk and say, Badoo, the bridge starts right now.
Or like, let's play this song. And you're like, that's in the 3rd set. And then you got to like flip through all your notes and be like, okay, it's this key. Here's the structure. Okay, cool. I think I got this, But then they're like, all right, now let's go back to this. And you're like, but that's in the 2nd set. And you're like, yeah, I like to hop around. And it's like, what's the point of having a freaking set list and being like, this is a 2nd set only song? And
Learn it.
And then not only that, but then you get to like the 2nd set and it's like, we already played this song in the 1st set. And it's like, yeah, let's play it again. And it's like, okay. Like there's things like that where it's like, this is awkward, or it's like, I don't know if this would be how I'd be doing this, which is why, being a hired gun is A, difficult, but B, like I just have to like hold my tongue and like hold on to my own ass too, because it's just like, I don't know what's going on here. I just gotta keep up, but that's also like, oh, bands don't keep members forever. It's like, that's because personalities don't always last, and like it's tough to stand next to people that have like a very rigid,
Yeah, are you tired of them playing it spot on, or are you tired of them like bringing Yoko Ono around?
Bingo. Yeah, you're not tired of them crushing music. You're tired of the other stuff. So like that's the thing that's like I've played shows with people that have had like personality clashes with them, even on stage, and I've been in bands long term with people that have been like that, and it's just like this is odd to do this, and like a lot of times those bands don't last, which, none of those have, because that's why that worked out. Or like I haven't been asked back to play, certain shows with certain people, because it's like, what, like sometimes it's like I got hired blindly. It's like, well, I'm more of like a improv.
Good.
Yeah, I'm like an improv rock kind of guy with like blues and stuff, and like for me to play country, like your stuff's gonna lean this way pretty hard. I'm not a like a hybrid chicken picker kind of guy.
Yes.
Which, nothing against that. Like I can do literally like the first lesson out of the lesson book when it comes to chicken picking, and that's it. Like I'm just not good at it, and I don't practice it. And
Didn't explore it.
yeah, if you're looking for that, it might not be me, but so sometimes that's like they didn't shop around enough, or like whatever, or that's just like I was just there to fill in the gap during a tight spot. The benefit of that was like when you're filling in for a band, if you can like just sit down and tell everyone like this is what's going to happen. I know these songs for the most part. I know the chords for the most part. If you point at me, I can solo.
We're going to be in drop D.
We'll be okay.
Yeah.
But at any time, like I could lean over to like two different people and just be like, just give them the nod. And it's like, if I give you the nod, that means if it's coming to me, I don't got it.
Yeah.
And you're either going to have to keep going or you're going to pick up where I'm not coming in because I don't know the lick or I don't know the thing, and this thing needs to be there because it is the thing that makes the song, and so that was like, the weird part about that was I think it was beneficial because it taught me to just kind of like let go. I don't have to be the guy every time in every single show. And that
no, but you're capable of it.
I can. Yep. It's exhausting though to be that guy, because like if I was gonna be in a band, I'd want to be the guy in the front playing the lead guitar, doing all the stuff and doing all the singing. I would want to be in control, and that's the rough thing about it.
Disclosure, I used to make I didn't make, but I would be like, hey man, and I would have a lead guitar like every other lyric. Not every other chorus, but Pete would just have to be like, okay, new lick.
Yep, fill it in, fill in the gap. Yeah. Which that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. It just takes special people to sit next to other people. And I think that was like
and how many times does an acoustic and an electric guitar just work together? Like that combination.
They do.
That never works.
They do, but they don't. Like it's weird. Like I feel like the acoustic, if you're doing an acoustic show, it works better if you're doing acoustic.
Yeah.
Or if you're doing acoustic bass.
But no, here comes the overdrive, and I think it had a lot to do with maybe a little 1, 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If you're doing the kick drum, that fills in so much space and it allows, there goes your guitar's going to fall. It just slid a whole bunch.
Take that, world.
Oh my gosh, that thing is going to fall.
Her name's Fancy.
Okay, well, before Clint's guitar falls over, I think we should probably call this a podcast. This is fun because we came in and you made notes and I didn't, and
I did.
We didn't really use any of your notes and we didn't really use any of my notes. We just kind of talked about some wild stuff. As you can see, if you're listening to this still, thank you for making it through the first 20 minutes because we were basically just talking about dying on stage for like 20 minutes. That was a wild convo. But anyways, yeah, Facebook pages, all the stuff for Clint is going to be down below. He's got music videos. He's got all sorts of goodies. So I'm just going to put links down below for you as per normal. Anything on the way out?
Sure do love you.
I love you too, buddy. All right, there you go. That's a fun episode. Like I said, it went off the rails. I was going to edit some of this down, but I was like, you know what? Let's leave it in. Let's leave the whole thing in. It's absolutely hilarious. If you're just like listening, you're probably kind of like the audio got weird for a while, but if you're watching, you can kind of see like what was going on. Clint was just like getting up and moving around after a while. I don't know if he just forgot we were on camera or what was going on, but it was pretty hilarious. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a little goofy in spots, but that's kind of the beauty of this. It doesn't have to be anything super professional. It's just me and somebody else sitting down having a conversation, and whatever happens kind of happens, and that's fun as far as I'm concerned. So check out all of Clint's links down below. Go watch him live somewhere while the weather is still warm, and check out all of the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association stuff on their website. Be sure to check out their podcast, FDT, new episodes the first Friday of every month. And for all things Audible Farm, check out audiblefarm.com. There you can find all the social medias. You can find the shop link. Do have some hats for sale as well. There's also some t-shirts still available, and there are some hoodies still available because it is starting to get a little chilly. So if you need a hoodie, hit me up. I've got an Audible Farm hoodie, zip up if you want one. They are for sale in the shop. Also, if you want to listen to episodes a day early, check them out on Patreon. You can watch them there a day early. Otherwise, that's about it. All the good stuff's at audiblefarm.com. We'll see you next week. Peace.